Welcome to this first part in what will be an irregular series for Transport Fever 2. I'm aware that many people don't like long introductions, so there will be a timestamp appearing now which will take you straight into the gameplay. If you've remained, welcome, and this introduction will consist of two parts. The first part, I'm going to talk a little bit about the reasons why I'm making this series. The second part is going to be the objectives, and then of course what we will do then is move on into the how setting the map up. Now, why am I actually making this series? Well, what's actually happened is that I made the short series I did where I did all 18 missions in the campaign mode. Then my original intention was to leave this game until I had time to slot in a proper full-length Let's Play into my current schedule, where I've got so many other long Let's Plays, it's difficult adding a new one. But what's actually happened is I've got a little bit hooked on the game, and I've been playing quite a lot off camera, just mainly starts, playing a few hours and then going back and starting again, just to get a feel for that initial starting thought process. And what I've actually started to notice was that the amount of time I was playing on one game was getting longer and longer. So then I was considered, well, I'll just carry on playing off camera. And then I suddenly remembered the other day that the whole reason I set this channel up was for me to share my gaming experiences with the wider community. So what I've actually decided to do is do this irregular series, which is so it's not going to be planned 3 parts a week, anything like this. It's going to be very much me playing the game when I've got time. Obviously, the nature of the game means that there's going to be quite long periods where I'll be doing the grind of the game, because this is always one of the problems with this genre of the game, is that you do get quite long periods where, well, nothing happens because you've got to wait for money to build up and lines to settle down. So that is the reason why I'm actually doing this irregular series, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, moving on to what is the objectives. Well, to be honest, I've got no real objectives beyond learning the game, experiment. So this series will consist of a little bit of experimenting. There will be failures, and we probably go bankrupt, and I just want to get a long-term feel for the game. So as I develop a feel for the game, I'll talk about a bit more about the game mechanics, and of course it gives an opportunity for people who probably know a bit more about the game than me to throw in comments and say, this is where you're going wrong, this is what you need to be done. So there is no specific objective of the game, and what probably will happen is that once I've connected up all the settlements and everything is running well, and every town has got whatever resources it needs, then we'll probably stop and then maybe move on to something else. So I think that's a long enough introduction. So let's just get into free game. So here we are, we're on the map generator, and to be honest, all I've been doing really is creating random maps and just seeing what turns up. But I think in this one we're actually going to use Silverbeard as a I don't really like that river structure. It's probably a bit too much, so I think I'm going to be original. Just put a 1 on the end. That looks okay. And as I say, this hilliness, water and forest, I'm not too sure what the effects are. I'm assuming that the higher up, the more hills you get, and I think forest is more decorative. I don't think it really affects the placement of the lumber production. I do want a river on the map simply because I want to experiment a little bit with ships, and I've gone for very large. Now the reason I've gone 1 to 3 is that one of my difficulties has been with aircraft, because when you've got a square map, the distance doesn't seem to fit with why people would use aircraft to move between two cities. And what's actually happened is I've been very attracted to this idea of having a long, thin map. So it justifies, say, building an airport down here and flying people up to the top here. Moving on, I've gone for high towns because this map only seems to have 20 towns on it, despite being very large. And I must admit, I did consider going down to low with industries, because to might be a bit more of a challenge. And then I thought, well, you're being a bit silly, so we'll stick with medium. I mean, the map looks pretty crowded, even with medium industries. I mean, if you go to high or very high, it's all packed in very tightly. I think that is about it for the map, and we'll see how things actually pan out. Of course, we're going to move on to next. We're going to stay with European vehicles because I just like them. And of course, we're going to start in the year 1850. I think we're going to leave it on medium difficulty. I did watch, I can't remember who was actually starting up now. I've watched quite a lot of videos of people playing this game, and they actually, I think it was Pinstar actually, and he broke down and said that hard is very hard, medium is gives sufficient challenge without making the game ridiculous. I mean, there are custom settings up here, but to be honest, I've got no real idea. I presume this is just where you can change the look and feel, and in there is also a sandbox mode. Anyway, I think that's enough. Let's just get started. So here we are on the map. Just get rid of that. Top tip first, pause the game as soon as you arrive, because what you're going to need to do is look round the map and see what's going on. The reason you actually pause the map is if I come here and show you, what you've actually start with is a loan, not a starting amount, and that incurs interest. So if you don't pause the map, what will happen is while you're looking around trying to see what you want to build and what you don't want to build, you start actually eroding this amount of money. So like most simulation games, it always pays to pause the game when you're first looking around, because we've got a lot of looking around to do. The other thing I also want to do is I want to drop the date speed down to pause. This is an option that I actually discovered by accident, and I think it's very useful, because one thing I do want to do is connect up all the various towns and that using the 1850 transport before we start to roll things forward. Now the next thing I want to do is just have a look around and see what we've got. I mean, I suppose probably the best way is to start with town statistics to see what we got. Okay, let's just sort by size. We got Twickenham 223, Grantham, Colne, Reepham. Oh, it's going to be fun to pronounce. Lostwithiel. I've actually been there and I still can't pronounce it properly. New Taunton, Keighley, Sudbury, Whitbury, Tiverton, Ellesmere Port, Shoreham by Sea, Stanhope, Manningtree, Wolverhampton and Grenley, Tunbridge, Conisbrough, Bingley, Sandown and Poole. I've actually been to Poole on holiday. Oh well, never mind. So anyway, that's not part of what we're doing. And what I'm looking for, so let's just have a look at Twickenham. So Twickenham's pretty well placed in the centre of the map. Now one thing I do know, and I actually picked this up from a Sky Storm video, is don't worry too much about passenger transport to begin with, because you need the game to run to see the connections. If I probably won't show you now. You see, at the moment you don't know who's travelling between two locations, so you actually need the game to run in order to see where the demand is in the form of private transport. So what we're actually going to do is focus first on getting up some goods lines doing, because that's where the cash is. And let's come in here now. One thing I have worked out is that the one thing you're actually looking for is oil, but what you really need to do is look at the refineries, because one of the things about oil is the fact that if you're going to set up a train line, if you're going to do a road route, that's okay, because normally at this point in the game you have little wagons that carry everything. But if you're going to do a train route, oil is your top priority, probably followed by wood. The reason oil is so good with respect to trains is that you can have one form of carriage that can carry all the products. So let's go to Conisbrough. We're down here with Conisbrough. Let's just have a look and see. I haven't actually played this map before, so apologies if things take a little while. Actually, this is quite a good start. We've got an oil refinery there and a fuel refinery there. What we need is we've got oil over here. Wow, this is pretty good. I mean, we've got two oil wells there that can supply loads of oil there, and we've got Colne here which needs fuel. So we've got a potential rail line from there into here with a delivery of fuel to there. Pretty good. I'm liking that. Let's just check the other ones out as well. We got North Taunton refinery. What we got down here? I don't think this is a bust. I can't see anything else around here that's any good. Put some oil there. And we got the fuel refinery there. I'm not seeing an oil refinery. So there's no real link here, so that's not much use. Let's get back to here. Also, we've got Whitby. What we got for Whitby? So we got Whitby fuel refinery there. Well, this looks good. We got Whitby right next door who want fuel, and we've got an oil refinery there, and we've got 2 oil wells. This could be useful because we could run a train down through here. Anyone else nearby? Oh, what we got here? This is Bingley. They want fuel as well, so we can expand this way. Got some big pile of farms around here with demand for bread there. What have we got over here? That's another farm. What have we got here? We've got a bakery which will feed into there. Yeah, I think we've got a really solid area here for a rail line. Yeah, I like this area because we could start with a line through here, get the oil production up. We can send the oil to Whitby, and then we could then extend the line down over time to Bingley, and then that could bring back food to here. Does Bingley need food? No, I think Bingley needs goods. Yeah, I like this. We're going to start up here. Now, one thing I have learned is that you don't want to put stations near towns or any of your real heavy transport, because that causes the emissions, and emissions slow up the growth of the city. Right, let's just get this underway. There's no point talking about it. I think we'll start with, I think we only need about 120. I don't know what the difference in price is. Yeah, I think we'll go cheapskate. We only need 120. Because trains at this period of time aren't particularly that efficient. I mean, so I could run the fuel into there, but I think we're going to be a bit sneaky here. We'll see if we can make some profit out of this. Let's just twist this a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put a road there, and run a road to there, and then that will get the train station on a good angle there. Now down here I want a through station, and I want at least 2 platforms. I mean, I'm kind of thinking ahead a little bit here. Got a collision there. What is that? Sorry, I just want to redo this road a little bit. I think it I'm just going to connect that up to there. I'm going to have to move the road again. Going to demolish this road. I don't think the residents will mind. Oops. Okay, we're going to turn the road round like that. Oops. We got 2 platform station there, and 1 platform station there. Now, would we run this line through to anywhere else? If should I need it, or could I get away with a 1 platform station up here? I think if we put a 1 platform station here, and then if necessary we can expand that later on. We've now got this line here to this line here, and we better put some tracks in. What we do is just try and keep the track as flat as possible. there's a little bit of a hill here, so yeah, you're a little bit underground. Let's get you up here. Now I don't want to come in close to Whitby because I don't want the emissions. We're going to just take the line out like this. I know it's not absolutely max efficiency, but I think it will work. I'm just going to... I mean, trains in 1850 weren't particularly that efficient anyway, so... Well, I mean, eventually we'll probably double track it. Kind of a little bit inclined to double track it from the beginning over quite a large area. But then that's going to put my costs up. Actually, I think what we're going to do is come here. And I think what we're going to do is double track a big section of this line. Maybe down to about here. There is a method in my madness, because we will definitely have a line breaking out that way, so whoops. And by double tracking it, it means that if I put in a depot up here, this is going to be 65,000. Wow, expensive. Oh, great. That's no good. Have to delete this. Anything that looks a bit flatter. Teach me, won't it? I think this looks a bit flatter. Okay, I think we'll just go with the one line into here for the moment, because this is going to be the starting point of the route. And what we're going to do is set a line up from here to here to here and back to here, because what I want is the oil to come from there to there to be refined, up to here to be turned into fuel, and brought back to here as fuel. Now I know the distance from there to there is short, but what I want to do is get the money on the backtrack here for the city, and then we'll ship in with trucks to Whitby itself. Call this Whitby. Oops, Whitby oil. Can't remember. Actually went for the, let me just check, can't remember now. How long did the platforms am I using? 120 meter platforms. And so we now got the ability to buy a train, and of course we only got this. Now this is what I was saying at the beginning. If I click on these, you'll see, well, that's the passenger car. You see here you've got one form, a box car to carry plastics, machines, tools, food and goods, and a flat car carries logs and planks. So this is the reason why wood is a second choice after oil, because you can see logs and wood could be carried on a flat car. But say if you do it with food, you've got bread there, but to move the grain you need a different form of truck. And that's the reason why I was saying that food isn't so efficient by train, it's better by vehicles. But what we're going to do is have a tank car. 17, 24, 37, 44, Can we get in enough? One. I think 7 cars is probably enough. I mean, the track's pretty flat, so I think we're gonna just buy one with 7 cars, and then we're gonna assign you to Whitby Oil. And of course, we can now start the game rolling. I'll just run at reasonable speed. Now, the next thing I want to do now is we've got the demand here immediately for oil running up to there. What we need to do now is create the demand for fuel here. What we're going to do is just turn this round. And what I want is I want this to be connected. Do I want that to be connected? Because this is only going to carry fuel. So I don't really need that in the shadow. What I need is this in the area here. Let's just move this over this way. And that gets me, I don't want to be too close to Whitby, so I'll put that there. Now the fuel's in this part of town, which is a little bit unfortunate because it means the trucks will have to come through the residential area. But I think at this point in history, I think we can accept that. I mean, eventually, once we've got loads of cash rolling in, we might be able to flip this around the other way. Let's just get this covering. We've got this line here. And what we're going to do is call this Whitby fuel. And of course, we're going to need a truck depot. And I think we can just drop this out this area here. What we're going to do here is you can see here with the horse-drawn vehicles, they carry all cargo, and I think we'll start with about 5 of these, and we'll assign you to Whitby fuel. What that should do now is start to create a demand for fuel from here. So what will happen is that as the train comes back, it will bring the fuel back, give it into the depot, and then we will ship it to Whitby. And Whitby's got a demand for 42 fuel. We got that line up and running now, and I think, yeah, so we got a massive demand for oil here. This is the reason why I was saying that I'll probably end up putting a second train on, because I think, is it correct? Let me just check. Yeah, we need 2 crude oil for 1 ordinary oil. So effectively what happens is when this comes in here, this drops off a part of crude oil, and then that will shift up there. I think we got another income opportunity here, because what we can do is supplement this oil refinery with the oil from this area. But to be honest, I'm not too worried at the moment if this all gets stacked up here, as long as we're making money. I think we are making money. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, this is going to take a little while to kick in, but see, we're already making 61,000 that way. I'm going to be a bit daring, actually. I'm going to pay one of the loans and reduce the amount of money as well, because I want to get rid of this loan. I hate the loans. And I think the next thing, I mean, it's going to, wow, why can we suddenly drop down to that? Earnings. Oh, that's because I spent the money. Now, I think what I want to do is bring this line in, try and start making some money. Yeah, we got fuel appearing now. No. It's not actually. Yeah, I think what we're going to do now is just get a. Let's see how far away we can get. So that's about as far away as we can get from here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drop this truck here. And we're going to create a what should we call this? Call this York Road Oil. What we're going to do is pick up about 6 of these. But yeah, and we're going to assign you to York Road Oil. And what that should do is, I mean, that's a really short distance here. So what we should get is the money flowing into here. Is it? So my trucks are still running around empty, but we've got 17 fuel here, so that will start to flow. So our trucks are now starting to arrive here and pick up oil. Hopefully, whoops, no. Actually, let me just change the route here. York Road Oil with the sidings. I want you to wait. Full load any. Yep. I want you to wait there. And of course, one thing about this 3-minute time, it says maximum waiting time. But one thing you need to remember about this is that every time one of these trucks gets an oil, that time gets reset until such time as the truck fills up. So resist the temptation to say, oh, wait 10 minutes. I mean, if you've got something like this, you could probably drop this to 2 minutes, but I think 3 minutes actually works. And what you'll see now is these trucks will sit here and wait, and every time they get an oil, so like, see, that's gone to 1. Now it's going to wait another 3 minutes for another one to come in. So it's not like wait 3 minutes after you arrive, it's wait 3 minutes until you fill up. And now you've got 2, see. But as this production picks up and improves, you can see it's got lots of production there. In fact, we could probably drop that down to... It's actually causing a bottleneck. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down to 1 minute. Because if this oil field is producing lots of oils, it does work with oil fields. These trucks will, if there's a delay, they will leave anyway. Anyway. So I'm digressing. And the next thing I want to talk about is actually setting up passenger lines. Now, it's very easy to look at all these towns and say, well, say where's Twickenham? Twickenham's a big town, so I can run a passenger route up to here and a passenger route to there. What you actually need to do is to say, this is why I was saying about waiting for the game to run. Because what actually happens is, as the game starts to run, you get these blue lines start to come out, and you can see where the private transport is. So we've got a nice long route down to there. And we got here, we got 5 people on that line. And it gives you an idea of, well, it does show you where everything is connected, but it also gives you an idea of where the really profitable routes are. So the average seems to be about 4 at the moment, which I'll probably see. Look here, we've got 8 people travelling between Collinsborough and Colne, and it's actually building up more and more. I mean, this could be a very profitable route from here to here. I think what we're going to do is connect these 2 places together, and with a passenger line we got 1.5 million. So let's just... And the other thing you can also do is, if you look at here, it's... where is it? So we got... that's cargo layer. Let me just... I can never remember. So the residential area is here, and the commercial is on this side. Now, I think probably if we come back up here, I'll just show you this as well. We're probably, yeah, you can see now you've got the noise coming in here, and you can see I've got noise coming through the town there. You can see how noisy trains are. That's the reason why I put the line across like that. You can see the noise there. Anyways, let's get back to where were we? Where's my really big profitable route? So you've got people there. Yeah, I think I could make this work. Let me just turn this off because I can put the actual traffic coming through the industrial area. I'm just going to turn that off, and what I'm going to do is put a street out to there like that, and then we're going to put a how much coverage do you get? Yeah, I think that will work actually. If I yeah, that's not gonna. And what we're going to do over here is put you another one about, how far out is that? Yeah, I think that will work there. We've got effectively 2 stops between the two places. I mean, we can connect this up and eventually put in local transport. I think we've got coverage there. And we're going to have as a line from there. There. I think we're just going to originally call it public transport 1, and we're going to need a transport truck here. Now we've got this oil refinery type route running here, and this is the industrial area, so I think we'll just put that there. And what we're going to do is buy some vehicles. We've only got stagecoaches at the moment, just to show you. And I think we're going to put about 8 stagecoaches on here. And you're going to go to public transport 1. Now this route is going to take a little while to make some money, but hopefully you can see there's lots of people here. They will come into this area. And one thing I do want to see is how the stagecoaches actually turn round. Yeah, it's not going that far before it turns round. This is going to take a little while to settle down. Yeah, we got our first passenger over here in Church Lane. Just going to let that run. Let's just have a quick look at line statistics. At the moment we're making a reasonable amount of cash from all our lines except for the public transport. That's going to pick up eventually. The question is, do I want to run another train now? We've got lots of fuel here. I must admit, I'm very tempted to put a second train on. But to do that, we're going to need to double track up a certain amount of. So I think what we're going to do is double track out here to here. And I don't think I need to go any closer than that. It'll save me a bit of money. So this track's okay, this runs into here. What we're going to need to do is put some crossovers in here. I really love doing crossovers. Especially the second one. Well, got there at last. Of course, we've got one going out on a curve here. think it'd probably be easier just to do it up here. I mean, it doesn't have to be right outside the station. Of course, what we're going to have to do is signal this now. I want you going that way. The crossover. And you down that way. And you go that way. I think that should work. Right, if we go to the line manager and go to manage vehicles, and how much is it going to cost me to replace it? How much is it going to cost me to clone that? And we'll get a second train running on this route now. And we're down to 158,000, but I think we'll be okay. And we're just going to let this run now just to see how things settle down. I mean, I could put the line on the second platform and that might speed things up a little bit. I think I might do that. That's it. Would be oil, be south. We're going to put you on platform 2. So going up will be platform 1, and coming down will be platform 2. That means these trains won't block each other in this section of the track. Wow, got a pile of fuel here. Okay, let me just check this. And I think what we might do is just expand this a little bit. Yeah, so this is building up quite nicely, and with the second train this should now improve this, so this is actually going to push out more oil. There's my second train. Yeah, you're bringing loads and loads of fuel down here. Just check to make sure Whitby. Yeah, I mean, we're still not fulfilling all the requirements for Whitby, so we've still got plenty of slack there. And of course, I'm down to 395,000. Just check the. We're making money on all lines now. Whitby Oil is making 371,000, and our public transport is actually working well. So let's go. I can find it. Got to remember to use this little icon up here to actually find. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see we got lots of people waiting here. I mean, I just wonder whether maybe eventually we could convert this to a train line. Let's just have a quick look then. We've got 58 people want to travel between there and there. This could be a very profitable route with this stagecoach. So we could use the, and we got food down here as well. So we got Conisborough, what we need round here is a bakery. Got planks there. They need tools. I think we could end up building up this area here. We got sawmill there, so we got this here, so we could connect that up. Where's the bakeries? Whitby, we got Whitby, Tiverton. You're nowhere near it. You're nowhere near it. It says Tiverton. I don't think you're anywhere near it either, so we need to be here. That's annoying. Can't. Yeah, so we got farms, but no way to turn it into food. I think this is going to be a very profitable route. And we got 790,000. And we can grow this, or we can definitely grow corn with the area here. I think this can really justify a train route here. So let's have a look here. There's no towns out this way, so there's no point putting a through station here. 127,000. If I put the train station out here, and we can always change the public transport network so that it actually brings people into. Get that there, and that's going to mean it's going to be well away from the residential area. First train station, build passenger train station. Thank you, game. We do the same here. Actually, we got town over there. Got Lost Thistle over there. I think what we'll have here is more of a through station here. I mean, we could put a station more out across here. Then we'd have to cross the road, but then this is 1850. Let me just, oops. Streets. Let's just put a road like that, so we can build up the. Yeah, I think that will work. And then what we can do is the train station is over there. I think we can just I'm just going to run a train station through to here. And what we're going to do is just and I think I'm just going to keep this simple for the moment. 17,000. And what we're going to do then is create a line from there. And call you Colne to Conis. Spelled correctly, yep. Miracles online. What's that saying? And then what we're going to do is a simple little train, and of course we got 12 capacity. What if we get about 30 capacity and we can't buy the train? Oh, we don't have enough money. Okay, right. I think we'll just borrow 500,000. Pay back the loan to borrow the money again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 24. And we're just going to buy that. And we're going to assign you. I put Cone to Conisborough. Apologies for that spelling mistake. My manager. This should be an L there. And what I'm going to do now is we're just going to put in and we're going to create a route. On public. And what we're going to do now is find the route manager, public transport 1, manage vehicles, and what we're going to do is take about half of those and put you on Colne public. And then what we're going to do is exactly the same down here. And we're going to create a route. New line from there to there. And we're going to call this Conisborough public. Oops. Like that. And then what we're going to do is find the and what we're going to do is pick up all you. Oops. And we're going to put you on Conisborough public. Oops. And what we'll do then is manage line, and we'll just delete the line in between there. And what that will do is create a line between these two stations, and hopefully, oops, what we got here. It's up to you. Okay, wrong one. What's this? Okay. Did I put the wrong one in? Yeah, I did. Line manager. Queens Road. And we'll take that one out. Take that. And just make sure we delete that. There are no warnings, thank you. Because what that would mean that we're actually going to lose money on this lines just for the moment, but we're making enough money on our oil line, and you can see there's now people starting to, yeah, we got 15 on here. I think this will be a pretty profitable line eventually. And then eventually this would get coal to build up and start to, let's have a quick look at, yeah. And off we go, our first, whoops. Our first passenger line is running backwards and forwards. I think we can only, I think it would probably pay to stay with a single train here for the moment. I like running around with trains. You can see the passengers inside. Yeah, there's 17 people waiting here. So I think that will fairly quickly turn around for a profit. Don't really expect to make these a profit. I mean, I thought I did do a start where I thought I could make all the money from local transport, and it just didn't work, to be honest. Let's have a quick look. Oh, Colne Public is making money. The train is losing a little bit. Our oil route is not as profitable as I thought it was going to be. But I mean, we've got 500,000 at the moment, so we're okay. And I mean, we've got a big pile of oil here. Let's just have a look at Whitby. Yeah, Whitby's growing. I mean, it's up to 206. It's greater than this. It says good, minus 10%. Let's just have a look at the emissions and see what. Yeah, I mean, we're not suffering that much here. Let's have a look down here. See, again, what I've actually managed to do is keep most of the really noisy stuff away from the residential area here, and we've only got a little bit of overlap on the edges here and here. I think that will work, and let's just see if we can find any more profitable routes. I mean, this route doesn't look. There's only 3 or 5 people that way. And we've still got a lot of people on there, but you can see we've got 46 people on this line. That's really good for public transport. There's only 2 people moving between here and here. This line's a little bit busier. This one's not that busy either. A little bit of traffic building up between Bingley and Grantham, but it's not. I wouldn't exactly say it's particularly that profitable. Let's just go down the bottom of the map. We've kind of neglected the bottom of the map. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, I don't. What we got here? A reasonable line here running to Keighley. There's a few people travelling between, so I think this is going to be a potential passenger line here eventually, once the cities get a bit bigger, because we've already got the foundation here. We could eventually extend the line to Lostwithiel and then down to Keighley and down to North Taunton. That could be a very useful passenger line eventually. Anyway, and we're up to 945,000. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pay off the loan here, so that we can actually take advantage of here. I really want to find another use for this fuel. So I think the next project's going to be is to come through to here and bring fuel from here to here, Bingley. I mean, Bingham's a relatively small town, but I think we can do things with that. And let's just have a quick look at. Yeah, it's kind of a bit back to front as well. And what we'll probably have to do is put the station in about here, and then run the goods around the back so that we don't have to go into the residential area there. But I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. As I said in the introduction, this will be an irregular series, so the parts will come out as and when I've got time to play, which probably will be quite regularly. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.